It's the return of the living dead. Welcome, everybody. It's been a little bit since I've done one of these Let's Talk live streams, and I'm very sorry for that. Because and to myself, I'm sorry to myself because I enjoy them a whole lot. This time, we're talking about, we're kicking off the spooky season. We're kicking it off. It's early, I know. It's not October yet, but fuck those people that have problems with that. We watched, and we're talking Return of the Living Dead. And to talk about the movie with me is the great Cecil. What is up, Cecil? How's it going, bro?
How you doing, Garrett?
Dude,
Thanks for having me on.
Fantastic. I'm
glad you're on. This is to talk about one of my favorite movies. And people sometimes, when they don't know this movie, they think you're retarded when you say it's one of your favorite movies. But this is in my top 5 movies. I fucking love every minute of this movie.
I will say, I've never seen it before. I was like, I asked you, I said, hey, you want to come on? Like, what are we going to talk about? I usually want to have something that either we both enjoy, is like our favorite movies of all time, or something that you're really into and that I haven't seen. I've never seen this movie. And why have I never seen this movie? I freaking loved it. It's so good.
It's so good. The cast is amazing.
Yes.
It's lightning in a bottle. Another top 5, and this is another reason people maybe think I'm a mental midget, is in my top 5 is RoboCop. And for the same reason, the casting in that movie, every part was perfect.
Yes.
Same as this. They couldn't have picked better people. Even the old guys who are normally annoying in horror movies.
I was going to say that. Yes.
They were great. Like
they were great. What was the guy's name? James Caron, the guy that's like explaining to him what happened with the original wasn't actually, it was like a real event. And that's what I really liked about it. The opening is like they're showing this guy through the warehouse, and he's explaining to him the different stuff. And there's so many little like setups during just that first 5 minutes of the movie, like setup, and then they get paid off throughout the movie. But that scene where he's explaining to him, he's like, all I love quiet, when he's like, whispering, and they're down.
I want to see a dead body.
Yeah.
But it's everybody had personality plus, and that's what you need in a horror movie, is you to give a flying fuck about. Can I curse on your channel? I don't know. Okay. To give a flying fuck about these people, you can't just have them getting offed and you don't care. It's just a body count. Every single character had their own personality, and you actually were kind of invested in them. Like as they were getting killed off, it was like, shit, not him.
Yeah, like they had so they had the warehouse, I guess the manager at the time. They have the manager, the employee that's like the new guy. His,
Frank is the manager.
Frank's the manager.
And Bert is the boss. And what's the kid's name?
Freddie. He's just hired. He's going through the ropes. So you got those characters, and they kind of like, they don't throw them all at you at the beginning. They kind of set them up. So they go like these two, and then the manager's there for a little bit. You see him, comes back later. Then you cut to the group of like marauding teenagers that just want to party. I just want to party. And that's a great setup too. So like, the kids all going like, where do we party? I don't know where to party. Fred knows where to party. He always knows where to party. I just want to party. And then whenever the zombies start coming out in the cemetery, they kick that music on. I just want to party. And it's
the soundtrack is great too.
So good.
I think the name of the song is like, what the fuck's it called? Dioxon 45 or something. The name of the chemical they're in. That's the name of that soundtrack, where it's like, it's a great. It's as good, it's up there with like Michael Myers' theme as far as I'm concerned. That music is amazing.
Yes, the synth in this is so good. Like making it really suspenseful, like those scenes, and then the higher scenes whenever they kick in the actual like needle drop songs. It's so good.
It's so good. It's a perfect move. It did everything it meant to do perfectly.
Yeah,
that's why I like it. It's not fine. It's not Gone with the Wind. It's not Gandhi. It's not Godfather. But it it's a zombie movie, and they nailed everything down perfect. And it's so dark and funny at the same time. It's one of the darkest ending movies.
Dude,
of all
it is
time.
so. I was not expecting that. So I was sitting back, going like, okay, surely there's another 30 minutes to this where they figure out how to get out. Maybe they figure out some kind of cure for the guy. That's like, and they're just like, boom.
It is bleak. And I was just talking to a friend about this before. I'm like, it's the ones where they have those bleak endings that you remember and become classics. And I was talking about Minority Report with Tom Cruise. And they had to tack on that his wife, who doesn't have any military experience, breaks him out of a high security prison at the end. I'm like, that's what made the movie forgettable. If the movie ended with him being locked away for a crime he never committed, it would have been a classic forever. Everybody would have been like, what the fuck? Like, you know, that would have been
like Raiders of the Lost Ark. Indiana Jones kind of loses. He loses. Yeah. He doesn't get the ark in the end. The last scene is them pushing it into a nameless warehouse where he loses. He doesn't get to put it into a museum where it belongs. So it's like, oh, that's like subverting your expectations in a good way.
It's found and lost again.
Yeah.
That's what happens. They find it and lose it at the end of the movie. It's basically getting lost in a bureaucracy and fucking gone. So yeah,
it's the same kind of thing here. Is that setting it up where you're thinking they got to the military, they called that number, they go through the chain of command back to the general that you set up in the beginning of the movie. Like they're gonna come and swoop in and save them. They have a plan. They have a contingency, and he's just like, nuke, boom, and they just go, yeah, there's less than 4,000 casualties. Okay, we're good. Credits, and I was like, what? Oh, what the shit? Yeah.
Another fun thing about James Karen, the guy who Frank, the manager, who's showing him around. He's also in Poltergeist. He's the guy who is like the greasy real estate guy.
I knew I like noticed him from somewhere. I was like, where's this guy from?
If you grew up in New York in the 80s, which I did, he was on the TV every 5 seconds. He was Pathmark Supermarkets, like pitchman,
the spokesman guy.
He was a spokesman for like, you know, cream corn is on sale this week, you know, and then he goes, he was the pitchman. I guess he's like a New York stage actor.
Oh,
so he was doing all these local, and then I'd go to the movies and I'd see like Poltergeist, and I'm like, that's the cream corn guy, like that's the fucking. And then the same thing in this movie. I'm like, it was really weird because as a little kid, it was like the daytime TV. You know, you watch like Gilligan's Island, all the reruns and all that shit. He was on every.
And then just in between, you just see him constantly.
Yep.
And he could have like. That's what I really like about character actors, like people from the stage that come into acting for the craft. Is like he could have just phoned it in and been like, this is like a silly thing, but he like really went for it. In that opening scene, it's all on him to like carry the mood there, and that. All the music goes down and he's whispering like what's happening, and then you want to see him and he's like, wait, what? They're here in the basement and the dead bodies. The dead bodies. Yeah, like it's so good. And then whenever shit starts going down, they open up the barrel. He starts like he completely flips. He goes from somebody that's like, I'm the manager, I'm telling this ghost story. Yeah. These things won't ever open up. They're made by the military. He turns into like
Corps of Engineers.
Yeah, and then it just.
Is it safe? Of course it is. This is made by the Army Corps of Engineers. That was the great, and that's when like the credits roll, right? Like when the smoke is coming. Great.
The opening of this, I forgot about. Yes, the opening of the movie. I feel like movies just don't do this anymore. They don't have any more like, I don't know, something about it. There's some magic behind that, like. Setup, boom, credits, and then the music, and you're seeing the story go through as the smokes, because you set up the dead body, the half dogs, all that stuff, and that smoke just going through the factory under the warehouse. And the music
when the dead dog starts barking, man, that's great.
Yeah, what is that?
Oh, I also love the cadaver when they're cutting its head off. As it's screaming, and as they're hitting the vocal cords, it starts going.
That was great. So creepy. I feel like that yellow man was creepier than any of the zombies because he was just so like Well, they
Like,
opened up the door and he just started running straight for that guy. Ugh.
And and then when they're like,
out.
I love when they put the spike through his head, and he's like, it killed him in the movie, and he's like, do you mean the movie live?
Yeah.
I love that they have the movie, which they were. I think there was like a legal battle for of the Living Dead because it was Night of the Living Dead. Yeah, one of the producers of this had ownership, so they were able to use of the Living Dead, and then they were. They couldn't make it a direct sequel, but they did mention the other movie as being a movie in this world. It's an actual movie that you could watch in this world. So that was kind of a cool way of linking them.
I'm going to get to a couple of these super chats popped in here before the show. Ancient Suds for $10. That's a yeah. Hail Quarter Black. The Return of the Living Dead is a great bad movie. I don't even say it's a bad movie. This is... The quality feels like it's almost a B movie, but it's like right above that. It's like right above that.
It was meant to be a. Here's what I look at it. It was meant to be what it is, and it was perfect at it. It was never meant to be something. That's it. If you do your job perfectly, this is it. This is the perfect. They hit it on every note, as far as I'm concerned.
Important life lesson to never open drums you can't identify. Yes. And Leah Quigley, giggity. Mindy Clark in the next one is better, though. Go buy my soap. Go buy my soap? You have soap? Ancient Suds. That's right. Ancient Suds. Look him up. He makes soap.
I'll look him up.
Vincent Rush Art for $1.99. Classic. Nice choice. Thank you, Vincent. Vincent is the one that designed and drew my zombie shirt that you can get in the link in the description for my merch shop. Working on a new design with Vincent. But yeah, let's look. So the teenage group, I thought they were so funny because it was like all kinds of different aspects of teenagers. It was like you had like the rocker guy, and then the goth chick, and then the kind of preppy dude, and that was all together.
The mod guy.
The mod guy. It's like they were all.
I love
over the place.
I love that she's like, she hated that dude that was like her simp right up to the end. Like she's like, man, I hate that I'm dying with you. Like it was great. Like to add like that kind of fucking. You could tell she was so disappointed that she's dying, and to make it worse, she's dying with this like simp that's always like
this guy.
This guy. And it was a hit when Suicide got his brain bit, because you're like, all right, he's the big dude, he could help out here, and they took him out first. And
he's like he goes down to the basement, and you're like, okay, he's about to take out the zombie, right? No, like immediately, my head, dead. I thought he was gonna come back. I thought he was gonna be like, because they went down there to get the phone when they went back in the basement, and I was like, okay, surely this is when he wakes up and we have like a boss battle. It didn't happen, but I was like,
didn't happen.
Should have happened.
Is it because the brains are gone? I don't know, but that he proved that. There's maybe a couple of glitches there.
Well, that's the thing about these zombies. I really like this movie because it kind of takes zombies back from now. It's like The Walking Dead. They're just brainless, shambling, nothing, no personality, no nothing. But these zombies, they have sentience. They can speak. They can think. Like some of the zombies were literally like, I love this shot. The paramedics get eaten, and then the zombie goes up and he takes the radio. Send more paramedics. Like
send more paramedics.
And then the other one is like, send more cops. And it's like, they have
a
plan. Like they're smart.
They're fast too. Which before that there were no running zombies. You know, and then there weren't any more running zombies until like 28 Days Later, and then the Dawn of the Dead Remakes in 2006.
Yeah, they went back to just like being slow, brainless.
Yeah, which I felt like a light jog.
A little bit. At least the fresh ones.
Yeah,
you know.
But these guys were fast. They were smart, and they were hungry. And I love the when they're questioning the old lady's torso and
yes,
like why do you want to eat brains?
What I really liked about that scene is that it really kind of made a lore for why, like, what a zombie is. I've never seen a movie, and maybe I just don't watch enough old zombie movies, like cinema. What's seminal zombie movies, but they never explain why a zombie's a zombie, what happened to the zombie. And this movie, like, explained it. It was like, this gas turns dead bodies alive, and they want to eat brains because being dead hurts, and it helps them, like, solve that pain. And that is literally the 1, 2, 3 why. And they explain it all in this 90-minute movie. It was, like, so masterfully done.
And trash. Getting naked was
at the same time.
That was a seminal moment for me as a young man. It
was like a striptease right in the middle of this movie.
I was like, I gotta hang out with chicks like that as soon as I'm old enough. I'm going to, and goddamn it, I did.
I did.
It was an early goal for me, and I was able to. But yeah, she was a massive influence on me as a. And I think I wore out my VCR on that scene.
That part, just like
I only found out recently that she was wearing some sort of cover over her bottom.
It looked like it because I looked. So it looked like some kind of weird, like super, like latex or something. I don't know.
She's also in like Chainsaw Hookers or something. She's in
a
couple other horror. She's like a horror.
She got freaking wrecked too. She got completely wrecked in the cemetery, and then she came back, and I thought, okay, they're doing this special scene again. I was like, is this gonna be like the setup for like the boss part of the movie, like the ending? She's gonna come. She just ended up being just another one of the zombies. Terrifying zombie.
It's all that's the thing in between all the humor, which there is good humor, especially between Freddy and Frank as they're realizing they're dead.
Yes.
And they're like, he's like, I loved Ernie's like, rigor mortis is setting in. He's like trying to crack out his fucking rigor mortis. Like, but it's such a bleak fucking movie. And it's got this undercurrent of humor in it. And it was perfect. Perfect.
So it's kind of unique to see something like that. Like, you just never see something like that again. It was so many different blends of horror, comedy, B movie quality, but then at the same time really well told story. I mean, like I said, like they explained all these aspects of a zombie, including Freddy and Frank turning into zombies. Like, what happens if a human gets gassed? This is what happens. They die and their brains are still there.
Yeah.
Like their brains are still awake, but they're dead. And it's like,
I also like that Freddy's girlfriend didn't fit in with everybody else. Like, everybody was a punk, and she was like...
she was like this one extra one that was like, why are you hanging out with these people?
Because they were Freddy's friends, and she was into Freddy.
She was dedicated. When they move Frank and Freddy into the chapel, and she's like, I'll stay. Are you dumb? They're about to turn into zombies, like straight up. Like, come on, you're teenagers, okay? Just move on. It'll be okay.
Teenage love. Come on, Garrett.
I don't know.
Where's your heart?
Stupid. Kids are dumb. Not obviously seeing that they're going to turn into zombies and eat them.
Sonny Crockett said Cecil's face reveal was the real Return of the Living Dead. How dare you? Where's there any moderators in here?
What is this? Get this. Kick them.
I was not. What kind of treatment is this?
Marksman of 117B, member for 7 months at the Knights of Neela. Well, thank you, sir. The winds whisper with the sounds of Utini. Utini, indeed. The Happy Plague Doctor for $5. Today, I became a grandfather.
Oh,
congratulations, you old bastard. Congratulations. Chang Lee for $1.99. No message, just $1.99. Thank you. I appreciate it. So how many of these are there? There's like 5 or 6?
I've only seen the first and the third.
Yeah, I was looking up I was making the thumbnail.
They're not connected.
They're just like completely separate.
They're standalone stories, yeah.
Interesting.
But I don't want to ruin this one by seeing too many of the bad ones. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like going to see Jaws and then seeing Jaws 3 in 3D. And you're like,
it's like splash, it kills people. Yeah, Jaws 3D. God, Dennis Quaid was in that, wasn't he? He was.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That was a terrible movie. Gina, I know you're up there. I can smell your brains.
I broke my hand off. Look what you did to me. Oh, and that scene where so the embalmer guy,
Ernie.
he's like, he straight up just kills her. He's like, or is it going to? I don't know if he actually did.
Right.
He kind of cut away. The ending
The
is
bomb
so
goes
damn,
off. It's
so damn bleak. I was like, surely before he actually gets a shot, they're gonna get saved in some way. He's just
right.
like,
She wasn't she best girl? Isn't every horror movie have best girl that makes it? No. Not only did they not,
everybody
did they not make it, like everybody within a mile radius that's not even in the movie is dead too.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with it. But it continued. The ending. That's why I like it. It sets up more stories of it being like it continues. It got out. It got in the water.
Yeah, I love them like overrunning the cops too. It's just because nothing kills them.
Like with like leading them in. That's what whenever they were setting up the movie and that the first yellow guy, I'm thinking like Freddy. I'm like, okay, how do you kill him? Like, what is the thing to do? Okay, braining them doesn't do anything. Chopping their limbs off doesn't. Literally nothing kills them. Like not even fire. You can burn them and then they multiply. I'm like, what? You can't do anything. There's nothing you can do.
Well, that's why they went to nuke, because they knew that. They were like, I guess, the police were shooting them in the head and it wasn't doing it. They just fucking walked right through it.
Yeah, guns are completely useless.
So
you can't chop them in half. Like, you gotta that is the only way to do it.
Now, that was great when he was like, Ernie, I need a favor. I got these rabid weasels.
Yeah, they're rabid weasels. You can't kill animals.
Oh, that's cruel.
That's cruel.
That's cruel.
Let me take him up front and shoot him.
And he had like a weird like Nazi thing going on.
What was
he had,
that?
Like a Luger, and he was
Luger?
listening to Wagner while he's got a fucking Luger. And everybody was just weird.
His introduction scene was great too. Like the slow push in to him like shoving that thing into the corpse while he's listening to Wagner. This is so good. Now, he was a great character too. I really liked his character.
This was written by Dan O'Bannon, who wrote. I don't know if was it directed by him too. He wrote Alien, the first Alien.
Really?
Yeah.
So it was Ridley Scott directed first Alien. Dan O'Bannon.
Let me check.
American film director.
I'm pretty sure he wrote this.
Yeah, Return of the Living Dead.
And Alien, right?
And I'm seeing, an Alien. I'm sure it's like Aliens 3, Alien Resurrection, based on his characters.
Filmography, he wrote Alien, the first one.
Dark Star.
Aliens. Oh, is that Dark Star? Or is that the John Carpenter movie? What is that? I don't know.
Yes. Yeah. Well, John Carpenter did the music. And
yeah. So he's he was like kind of known as a weirdo, Dan O'Bannon.
Yeah.
He found that other chick, the girl who had the simp, not the one who got naked, the other punk rock chick. She was he found her stripping.
He was like, get in this movie.
Yeah,
perfect.
She was a stripper at a strip club he would go to, and he originally had her to be trash, and she's like, I don't want to get naked in the movie, which was weird. And
okay.
And Linnea Quigley was more than happy to.
All you got to do is wear these little shorties, make it look like you're naked, but you're not really naked.
Yeah, I don't think she had a problem with being completely naked. I think the movie did. Like, they wanted to get it into theater. It was you can't. They had like you can only have a combination of X amount of violence and
before it's NC-17, and you're not going anywhere.
What year was this?
84 or 85? I thought it was 84. Maybe everything took place in 84.
85,
but it came out in 85.
Yeah, so it's they were going through like a big censorship thing, especially with like the Friday the 13th movies.
Yeah,
they had to take down the violence. So it's kind of a weird movie because it's known for that nudity, but there's not other than that one girl, there's not
like,
really that much. Yeah,
there's like a calendar in the background of the office
yes.
with the naked chick on it, but like that's kind of it. But yeah, she runs around the whole movie naked after that. I think she's one of the scariest zombies. I'm gonna ask you which one of you think the best zombie is, but she is one of the scariest ones because by the end she looks like a naked Ronald McDonald monster thing. Like the last shot that she's in when they like rush the blockade, and she just like comes out of the left part of the screen and just tackles somebody.
Yeah,
it's just like it's like 3 frames of like, and it's just enough to see just terrifying Ronald McDonald kind of.
And she has like a giant. Her jaw is
like ugh. So, what do you think the best zombie in the movie was?
Well, I mean, she's topless, so I'll give it to her. And she's hot, but she's a butterface by the end. But she was very cute beforehand. I could, I could look past that. But Tarman was excellent. The guy coming out of the barrel, and you know, the first dude, the guy in the cadaver,
yellow dude.
Yellow dude is fucking pretty damn good. He's good.
Creepy as shit.
I mean, that's the whole. Even the fucking zombies have kind of personality. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like the yellow man was just crazy, like rage. The brains guy was like fucking just like a creep. He's like, you're fucking brain. Yeah. She was like, you know, like almost a wild animal.
Yeah.
Then the other guys that were like, send more paramedics. Like they're even the zombies had personality.
The guy that called for more cops was like a Civil War body. He was dressed in
was in a Civil War uniform. That was great.
But how does he know what cops are?
How does he know how to use the fucking CB? But don't ask questions.
Don't ask questions. It doesn't matter.
They're
talking zombies.
It was cool that he was in a Civil War.
And then the little... was he a reenactor? Is that what it is?
He was a reenactor. There we go. We fixed that.
We solved it. There's also the half lady that they end up strapping down, and
she had a personality.
Too. They had that little guy. I'm assuming that was actually like an amputee actor that they got into like the zombie makeup to like run on his little stubs. It's creepy, fucking good. But yeah, all of like the zombies had personality.
Gifting a ton of memberships.
Who said what?
Somebody's gifting a bunch of memberships. Bradley
Burnett gifted 20 memberships. Thank you, Bradley. I appreciate it, brother.
Wowee.
Generous. Thank you so much. Yeah, just like every part of this movie could be lazy, but they didn't. They had fun with it. They injected creativity into every kind of facet of whenever they didn't really have to. And they could have just been like, oh, it's just a stupid zombie movie. They're killing teenagers and they get naked and that's it. But like it was well acted, well written. It was set up, payoffs, like with the sliced dogs, with the cadaver, with the... It's like everything was well written and it was well done. I don't know why they don't make movies like this anymore.
I just want to back up what you're saying. There are things you have to slog through in movies where it's like, we're going to talk to the military. Even the interaction between like the colonel and his wife, they made that interesting. Yes. She's like, I made you lamb chops. And he's like, had it for lunch.
Yeah, like, your favorite. Had it for lunch.
And you see her like crestfallen, and it's like they didn't need to add that in, but it was fucking great to see her like, I made your favorite lamb chops. Had it for lunch.
And like, I think they were doing some kind of commentary on, I'm assuming the war industrial complex and like war profiteering, because this one general guy had this massive mansion. It was a giant fucking house, and then he just kills people. So I think that's part like they were trying to say something there. And then whenever they wake him up in the middle of the night, and his wife wakes up in the background, and he's having this like long conversation, no music, no, it's not snappy, it's very slow with him going, okay, yes, yes.
And how many?
And yeah.
How many did you get at?
And then what'd you do? And what'd they do? Yeah, okay. And then the whole time, like his wife is in the background going, like having these like, so you could, if you're like, watching the movie and you get bored with him. You're like, okay, and then I look over what she's doing, and she's doing something, and then you kind of go, oh, okay. Well, then you look back at him. So it was like it was thought through that where people could get bored of him going through this explanation. Let's do stuff also in the background. But yeah, it was.
You did not expect them to be launching a nuke at the end.
No, not at all.
I remember that being like first time I can. That's the other thing, you can remember the first time you saw it. You're like, wait a minute, everybody, they just killed everybody. Like fucking what?
You thought, because that was why it was so masterful, because it was such a long setup, and that's why they did that long. Like, yeah, okay, what did they do in his life? Because you're thinking, okay, surely this means he's gonna go back to the computer and call in that cavalry, and they're gonna come in with some flamethrower guys or something. They have a plan, and it's just this long setup to just boom, blow up, everybody's dead, credits. You're like, do you want a party?
And then during the credits, they show like the rain is now.
It's coming back down, and it's coming back into the grave. Yeah, it's just like setting it up for the next one, and the next one, and the next one.
Zeno says Garrett is quarter black, but Cecil is 3/4 alcoholic, so this is perfect. Okay.
Yeah, we make.
I'm not drinking.
I've ran out. Are you saying just in general?
Well, I haven't drank tonight yet.
Okay.
I always have a trusty bottle here, just in case. Just in case, emergency.
You're like, at the moment, I'm sober.
I also have a glass already poured, but that's just in case.
Just in case. It's got ice in it, keeping it cold.
Well, it's stupid. It's stupid not to take a sip.
Yeah, why would you not? I mean, since you are, I will finish this bottle of 1792 off. I got just a little bit in there. Thank you, Dark Elijah, for giving me this shitty whiskey.
Nick S says Return of the Living Dead is the worst case scenario when it comes to zombie apocalypse. Basically,
there's nothing you can do.
Yeah. Trash is taking her clothes off again. That's what I also love. She does it all the time.
Yeah, that's like a thing for her.
It's a thing. And the other girl is just like pissed. I love it when she's like trying to get it going with the other guy. He's like, you think this is a costume? This is my life.
This is my life.
Show some respect for the dead. He knocks her on her ass.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, she's like grinding up on him. He could care less.
He's like grabbing it out of his dick and shit. And he's like, have some respect for the dead.
That's great. It's great.
They're a great character. Like the designs and like the costuming for each character too. Like not just their characterization, but their costuming like is very well done.
Let's get some light over here. Like Trash is taking her clothes off again.
Ooh, it's a party. And I like it. So they've never been to a cemetery. I feel like these are kids that would go to the cemetery all the time. These are cemetery kids.
Maybe they didn't go to that one.
I would go to that one. That one looks scary.
Styles won Clash for $5. How's it?
For $5, Styles won Clash. Originally, Freddy's jacket said "fuck you" on the back, but they reshot all the scenes. With the jacket that read "television version" on the back. Really?
Does the jacket actually says television version on it? That'd be wild if I never noticed that. That's pretty funny.
Amazing. Hold on, I've got to look this up.
It would make sense because it's like all punk rock sayings. You'd probably just not ignore it. Like,
I kind of want a jacket that says that now.
Yeah. No,
version jacket. Oh yeah. Yeah, one says "fuck you." Trying to see if there was actually a television version one.
I also love the scene where Frank's like, after they've been already infected, they're sick, and he's like, and Freddy curses, and he goes, "You watch it if you want to keep this job." He's like, "Keep this job." He's like, I give a fuck about it. He's like, they're dying.
I don't care.
Keep this job. You watch your mouth if you want to keep this job.
Keep this
the other
job.
little thing is the dog's coming to life, and then if you notice, like the butterfly exhibits, all the wings started flapping.
No. I didn't see that. No.
Yeah, they had like stuck bugs on
Yeah.
like the displays for and they were moving, but they were stuck to the board. Like little details in that movie.
Attention to detail.
Yeah.
I want this jacket, man. I want this fuck you jacket.
They're mixing up parts 1 and 2. No, I am not, because I never saw part 2.
I've never seen part 2 either.
So I couldn't do that.
Maybe the fuck you jacket? Does he come back? No way. They're different. They're different stories.
Oh, maybe the person who wrote that is saying they're mixing up part 1 and 2. I never noticed it.
I do kind of want to watch the other ones just to see.
Part 2 is a different story. I know that, but they actually use the actors of Freddie and Frank as different parts.
Really?
And a lot, because they just liked the actors, so they just gave them, and that kind of bothered the audience who was coming to see a sequel.
And they're like, "Wait, I thought they died in the last one."
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to check it out.
I feel like I need to. And Frank, that's another dark ass scene at the end. It's just dark scene after dark scene. Frank burns himself.
Oh my
takes his ring off.
Grim
turns it up. Crawls in.
Screaming, burning himself alive. Well, dead, whatever. But it's
burning himself dead alive.
It's such a grim scene, and he like it's funny, like when we talk about how they had personalities, he was able to control himself and kill himself while Freddy went fucking mad.
Yeah.
And could not control himself, wanted to eat Gina. And then they burned his face with acid. I could smell your brain.
Yeah, that's what I just like about these zombies. I want more zombies like this. Like they've got just
personality
enough
plus.
Personality. Yeah, personality plus. You know, they could talk. They have plans. They could really fuck you over. Like whenever they had the cop there, like pretending to be a cop, and they pulled the whole line of police officers in there, and then they just jumped out of the woods. Like they had plans. They fucked you up. That is just so hopeless. Like you can't win.
That's what this movie was. It was just hopelessness with like some good jump scares, some good, fun zombies, some fun jokes, and a great cast. It's just, but it's. I'm surprised they got away with it just because of how bleak and hopeless the whole undercurrent of this movie is.
Yeah,
with like, there's no chance you have against these fucking things. There's
fucking nothing. Like if you're paying attention and the very first zombie on screen, you're literally like, well, there's nothing you can do. You can't do anything.
Right.
And then they prove it whenever they burn them. You literally cannot do a damn thing.
Every zombie movie has to go to the preachy. It's not really the zombies that are the threat. It's mankind. It's mankind turning on each other, whether it's Walking Dead or they're just a threat that's around. You know what I mean?
And these are like,
no, these motherfuckers are a threat.
They're
like,
gonna fuck you up. Okay, you got to get into your house. You got to barricade. You got to close shit down. There's few zombie like franchises now that have these kind of, and now I would even say there's none. I feel like they tried to do that with one of the Romero zombie movies in like the 2000s where they had actual brains and they could do shit. What was that movie called? Yeah,
that with John Leguizamo was in it.
Yeah.
And that other chick
was.
The other chick that made Anthony Bourdain kill himself. She's really hot.
That chick.
Oh, I love her. She is so bad for the world. I love her.
But
she's a terrible person. Land of the Dead. Thank you.
Land of the Dead. Yes.
Flake.
So
452.
Now everything is just brainless, shambling zombies that are boring. And like you just said, it's all about the humans being the real threat and all this stuff. And it's like, yeah, but I kind of want the zombies to be the threat. That's why it would be interesting.
This was cool because it actually had a bunch of people who were thrown together who would not get along, but because the threat was so big, like this old Nazi mortician is
guy.
now with a bunch of punk rock kids.
Yeah.
And like
And you don't
And
question it
everybody-
because you're like, they have to work together. There's nothing they can do but work together.
The threat is so overwhelming that whatever personality conflicts is out the window. It's like, we're fucking working. Like, even when Bert and Spider had to go get the car. You know what I mean? It's like,
and it's like, now we're together.
Yeah.
It was actually a good scene. I kind of like that, the pairings of completely disparate type characters. Like, Spider was really cool. I liked his character a whole lot too, because at first he was like a background character in the teenagers, and then whenever the one you thought was the leader got killed, and then another one, and then he kind of took the role of, I'm the kind of the fronting leader here, and I'm gonna work with these older guys and kind of plan out what we're gonna do.
Yeah, it was very cool. But yeah, that's one thing about zombie movies. They can't get away from that trope of the real threat are the people. Did you see?
Yeah,
it's humanity. It's humanity that's the problem. Well, have you learned? Like, okay, we get it. Fucking, you're gonna beat. Yeah, this one was. I mean, yeah, you didn't get a lot of that. Although you did get like the military. But do you really think the U.S. government? Do you think the U.S. government would really sacrifice 4,000 people? Come on, man, they would never do that.
That's a massive number. Like, when you think about it, like, and I love the kind of the way they were like, yeah, we took out the threat, less than a 4,000, like, just so even kill. Like, no, they don't care about anything. They're just like, yeah, we did it. It's mission accomplished.
I mean, our government wouldn't do anything like that.
No, ours is great. They've never done anything. They've never lied. I don't think they've ever lied at all. We're still in the best economy ever in human history. And
we are. It's amazing. Do you see how low gas prices are?
Yeah, I can barely feel it.
It's fucking great.
Jesus.
Everything is great, YouTube. We love everything.
They got a check mark now. Can I get on trending? I said the words, damn it. What are some other zombie movies that came out kind of around the same time that I had?
Today was a zombie. Biden had a bit of a zombie movie today.
A little bit. Did you see that?
He was looking for a dead woman. If she would have showed up and...
Jackie, where are you at, Jackie? Where are you, Jackie?
Jackie, I want to eat your brain, Jackie. I can smell it.
I can smell it.
I can smell your brain,
The
Jill.
press secretary is like, she was right. She was on the top of his mind. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
She's on the top. He said, Jackie, where is Jackie? That's what I'm saying, though. He was.
But this
right
was
on the
right
top.
after they talked about her being dead. Like, they just were talking about her being dead. And then he asks for her to come. That's what they're leaving out. They're like, oh, he was looking for a woman who died. It's like, yeah, but he just mentioned that she was dead. Now he's asking for her to stand up and...
he ended it going like, who am I talking about? Jackie? Jackie in the room. Stand up. Jackie, where are you? Where are you, Jackie?
Then, I just want to see them come out with one of those like those little like loops like they have in fucking
like Woody.
like
full string.
Like Planet of the Apes, it's like the stick with the fucking loop at the end of it, and put it on the end of him and like get him off stage while he's like trying to like.
Well, Jill Biden, I don't know if you saw this clip. They were doing a speech and she was up there with him, and she was like, they stepped back from the podium and he was doing his like, I don't know where the fuck I am thing, and she was talking to him and you could hear her like a hot mic. She goes, all right, you're gonna go off this way, and he goes, and then he turns back to talk to nobody, and then she's like continued walking and then turns back around and goes, and then he like shambles down. It's sad.
Oh my god!
It would be sad if I didn't hate him so much.
It would be sad if I didn't live in a population center that was probably first on Putin's list to nuke.
yeah.
I'm going to go out like Return of the Living Dead, man. I am going
just in
out
an
that
attic
way.
somewhere.
Yeah, this guy's blowing up pipelines. He doesn't know how to get up. The guy who can't get off stage and is introducing dead people, shaking hands with invisible people, and fucking he's blowing up pipelines.
Dude.
Great. I feel safe.
It's ridiculous at this point. Like, how many times does he have to go up on stage and be completely oblivious to where he is? There was another time, I think it was last week, he was on stage. He was at the podium. There was another guy on the podium, and he was like, he just finished his speech, and the other guy on the podium just started going, thank you, Biden, for coming to this summit and talking and blah blah blah, and Biden just walks away. Like as he's talking to him, he's just walks the fuck off stage, and he's like
he's just standing
Mr.
at the end of the
Biden.
stage. Well, yeah, he's standing at the edge of the stage.
Come on.
They literally should have a curtain for him that comes down like a show.
And you've had
Like,
enough today.
They just drop the curtain
So he can go back into his box.
Do you remember when he asked the other? Isn't he the same guy that asked the guy in a wheelchair to stand up so everybody could see him? Like while he was.
Like this is comedy movie things. These are things that would happen in a comedy.
Yeah, this is like ridiculous. There was a dude with no legs that was a politician. He was campaigning in his state. And he's like, stand up. And the dude's in a wheelchair with no legs. And like the audience is like,
They're like that's Seinfeld. That's a Seinfeld joke.
Yeah.
That is a Seinfeld joke, and it happened to the president.
Did he really say today, I guess she's not here?
I guess she's not here.
It was Biden who said, he did say stand up. Why don't you stand up?
Yes.
Take a bow to do it no legs.
What I do respect about it is that he doesn't even care. I think it's probably because he doesn't know. You know, he'll say stuff like that, like, "Where's Jackie? Oh, I guess she's not here." It doesn't faze him. He doesn't care. He's like, "Go ahead and set up."
Do you think they even told him?
Right.
Do you think afterwards they even told him that she's dead, or they just like let him be?
I think they're like, there's nothing you can do.
Give him his pudding cup.
Yeah, get the applesauce out. Nom, open it up. I get my applesauce after the speech.
Dr. Jill.
Dr. Jill.
The hanger's open.
It's so sad. My God. And then they talked about Trump not being able to walk up a ramp or something where he like took a single double step, and it's like
they wanted him to get neurological testing because he drank from a bottle with two hands.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
And it was like every fucking
it was fucking CNN,
news,
MSNBC.
They're like, what is going on? Is he competent? Can he hold the office? Why is he holding the water like that? It's like yeah.
And then you've got stumbling Joe Biden out there every single time he goes in public. Like he literally made a double step whenever you lose your body and you have to catch yourself. He did one of those old guy double steps. Like, whoa, I'm falling over.
I think my favorite Joe Zombie. Joe Zombie.
Trademark that. Trademark that.
Joe Zombie moment was when he was looking for somebody to talk to while everybody was talking to Obama, and like no one would pay attention. And he was walking around like a zombie. It was Joe Zombie
walking around that party like, hey, I'm the president right now, though.
President of the fucking United States could not get a single person to come up to him.
Bro.
And he's walking up. And then he walks over and tries to get Barack Obama's attention, and he brushes him off. Fuck off, Joe.
Damn. It's cold. I don't think he's doing anything. He's a complete puppet. There's no way he's got cognitive abilities to make any decisions whatsoever. They've got him in the Oval Office, lock the door. Don't go in there.
I'm stealing Joe Zombie. Somebody said
it's been coined. It's already been coined. Cecil said it.
Yeah, he's well. I would be worried if we didn't have such a good woman waiting in the wings.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I don't want him to go out. I want him to just like shamble for the rest of his term, so Kamala doesn't get in there because she's gonna be worse. Because she can actually like do things. She's like a zombie with a little bit of brains, just enough to put you in a bad situation. Joe, I don't think has any brains. He's he's like a Walking Dead zombie. Literally nothing going on upstairs.
Jamira Shun says in an aggressive whisper, I'm talking about brains, man.
I'm talking about brains. Brains.
No, I'm serious. No, there's no joke. I'm talking about brains.
I could smell your brains. That's why he's sniffing so many people.
I could smell your brains.
Yeah,
what would he say? Send more 9-year-olds.
And what is up with that too? Like on top of all of the other things, he's still like, "Hey, all the 15 and below, come over here." have a meeting with him and say, just like, let's refrain, because it just, maybe they would believe he's not a pedophile. They'd be like, look, it's not good to say things like this.
We met a long time ago. She was 12, I was 30, but enough about that. Did you hear that?
Yes.
That was 2 days ago. No. What the fuck?
You don't leave a story like that vague, okay? You don't say things like that.
I mean,
like think about it logically. They've had to have had a meeting with him at least once about like PR. Don't say things. And he just doesn't. He can't.
I don't think they do. Like, I don't think they ever told him today. They're like, let's not ruin his day. Just give him his pudding cup. Let's not tell him Jackie's dead.
Gonna put him in a bad mood.
Yeah, just he'll have a tantrum.
Yeah.
If Joe serves 2 years, Kamala would be eligible for 2 terms. She's not getting elected. Then again, I never thought this guy would.
No fuck. Yeah, I know. Me too. I was so baffled. That's why I was like, there's no fucking way that Joe Biden, both Joe Biden and Kamala Harris were the worst candidates in they were the bottom 2 people. And then all of a sudden they're the ticket. Like what?
We
need puppets.
I underestimated how popular he is. I have to say, and that's on me. I had no idea that he would win more of the black vote in Detroit than Barack Obama. But I mean, he is very, very, and you're quarter black, so maybe you had it inside. I had no idea that the first black president would get less votes in Detroit than Joe Biden, who campaigned from his basement. It is, I did not see that coming, I have to say. And that's why I don't make the big bucks, I guess.
I guess. I mean, most of those people were already dead when they voted.
Joe Zombie.
So, Joe Zombie.
Send more votes.
More votes at 3 a.m. Just
it's
the world we live in.
Very popular with I mean, more popular than the first black president. So in Detroit. So that was a shock to me.
In Detroit.
More of the black vote in Detroit than Barack Obama. Unbelievable. I mean, the guy has charisma plus.
Just oozing.
It's weird because his opponent would fill out stadiums, and his speeches couldn't fill a phone booth. But it's still, they
could barely fit the rings that they had for COVID. Those rings were pretty empty as well.
Yeah, it was amazing that a guy who could not fill a Volkswagen with an audience was able to get that much of the vote. And hats off to him.
Yeah,
whatever he's got. Yeah.
Whatever he's got going. I don't know what it is, but it's
charisma.
Something.
It's charisma. It's like, some people are just naturally charismatic, like The Rock. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
even if you don't like what he's saying, you're like, I like this guy. He's just oozing, and that's Biden to me, at least. And I think that's what fair. That's what people underestimated, and that's why everybody showed up. I went to vote for Trump, to be honest, and I actually voted for Biden.
You just couldn't resist. Right at the last moment, you were like, look at him now.
It was charisma. I didn't even know what I was doing. I was in a cloud.
Just a haze of charisma.
A haze of charisma is how I would describe it. Yeah. I regret my vote, but
not that much.
I was powerless at the time. Let's be honest.
Yeah. It's like getting raped.
What?
By Joe Biden's charisma.
I'm
going to write that book. That's the title of my autobiography.
Raped by Joe Biden's charisma.
I could take a note of that. I could take that.
I think Ashley Biden can write that book too.
A Biden story. Speaking of zombies.
Yes.
This was a good movie.
What? Yeah. What's the second best zombie movie?
I like Dawn of the Dead.
The remake?
No, the original.
I'm gonna have to go with the remake.
Oh, Zack Snyder? It's a good one.
It's good.
It's good.
It's good.
I
watch Night of the Living Dead every once in a while. I have like the Blu-rays of
I've watched
most of these movies
a long time ago.
28 Days Later is number 3 for me, Boosh McFadden.
Yep.
I know it's not technically a zombie, but
Shaun of the Dead. It's got to be on my top 3 at least.
Shaun of the Dead is great. My favorite scene is when the guy runs to get the camera. and then he's like, you hear him like rolling it to click the next click. She's like, laughing because she's fucking fat chicks rolling around on top of him. It's fucking great. The original Night of the Living Dead, scariest of all time. Well, not the scariest, but I liked the remake of Dawn of the Dead. I like the original Dawn of the Dead too, but the Fast Zombies up the ante. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that scene in 28 Days Later where they're changing the tire and the fucking zombies are coming down the fucking tunnel. Like that type of shit.
Fucking terrifying. Because you know they would be able to do that because a human can do that. Right. And if they're fresh enough, I think they should be able to.
Well, they're all still alive.
Right. Yeah. So like they're
technically, but they were zombies because they were mindless killing machines basically. Yeah. So. The baby zombie in the remake was really cool too.
Train to Busan. I have not seen Train to Busan.
That's good. I think it's on Netflix. That's where I saw it. It might still be on there. It's pretty cool. It's zombies on a train, basically in Korea.
Did you ever want to see that? The first one. Last of Us, the game.
Oh.
Come up with the show. I don't know about this show. Dead Alive. Oh, I've not seen that. I want to see Dead Alive from Peter Jackson. His the movie that came out before. Like, I want to see that one.
That's a extreme gore fest. That's like
because he bloated. Did that before Frighteners. He did Dead Alive and then Frighteners.
Oh yeah,
and then Lord of the Rings, which is a crazy jump from Frighteners, Dead Alive to Lord of the Rings, but it fucking worked out.
He did. Well, he's friends with Sam Raimi. Is that right? Like, are they connected? Why am I have them? Because I always anybody in the chat. For some reason, I have the two of them connected in my brain. I don't know if there's any merit for that. Sometimes, but I always think like the Evil Dead franchise reminds me of Dead Alive.
Yeah,
and for some reason, I think they're connected somehow. Anybody? Maybe I'm working through my own issues here.
Like, I don't know how these are connected.
But original Evil Dead, great. I love Evil Dead 2, even better.
Evil Dead so much. Evil Dead 2, even better. Evil Dead 3, I still love. It's very different, but I still love it. So it's, okay. But yeah, Evil Dead 2 all the way.
Peter Jackson was inspired by the Evil Dead films. Okay,
that makes a lot of sense.
Maybe I saw him in an interview where he said that. But yeah, Evil Dead 2 is great, and of course, what was the third one where they fucking?
Does that count as zombies? That's why I didn't say it. I thought about it, but I was like, they're more like demons.
Yeah, those are like
bodies. I don't know if that's technically
they're demons. Yeah,
but if we're counting it, 100%, Evil Dead 2 is going in my top 3. Shaun of the Dead, Evil Dead 2.
Evil Dead 2 is great. You don't need to see Evil Dead 1 if you see Evil Dead 2. Yeah. They do like a pretty good recap.
It's an interesting story too, because each Evil Dead movie had a different like production house, and there was like a whole legal issue with the rights to the first one, so they had to redo it for the second one, and then they had to kind of redo it again for the third one. It was a weird story, the whole Evil Dead trilogy production.
I had no idea, because yeah, they did change from 1 to 2.
That's why they had to recap and like do different stuff for the second one. And then why they couldn't call it Evil Dead in the third one, because it was originally going to be called Ash versus Medieval, right? I think it was. Yeah, I think that was it.
That was it, Ash versus Medieval,
or something like that, or was it the Medieval Dead?
I like that.
Would make sense. That would make sense.
Did you make that up? That's good.
I think that was what.
Where were you? Where are you? They needed that. Medieval Dead is awesome.
They were like Army of Darkness, which I still like. I still like the name.
Great poster.
Fantastic poster.
If you just made that up, that's pretty damn good. Because Medieval Dead would have been a better name.
Pet Sematary. Technically a zombie, or is that possession? I think that's possession.
No, Pet Cemetery zombies, man.
Yeah.
They come back from the dead.
Okay. They're not getting possessed by like a demon. It's like they're just getting reanimated.
Evil. That little fucker Gage took out Herman Munster.
And then the second one, and then the second one had who's the second? The second one had Mr. Krabs. What's his name?
Eddie
Furlong was in it, and it had the fuck is that guy's name? The guy that did Mr. Krabs. He was in so many freaking movies. He's in Highlander. Mr. Krabs.
Oh, Clancy Brown.
Clancy Brown. I knew it was a girly name, Clancy. But yeah, he got reanimated. He was like the boyfriend. I remember watching that movie. God. It's one of those movies that I watched only once whenever I was too young to watch it. So it was like, what? What is this? I don't know what this is. So I only remember like the scariest parts of it.
I remember the chick from Star Trek The Next Generation was in the first one. She was the mom. That little kid was fucking scary. The baby running around the house in his little funeral fucking suit.
Yeah.
With the scalpel. When he cut his Achilles tendon.
Fuck. Anytime a movie does that, man, it's the fucking worst. It's the worst. Like they did that in Hostel with those like scissors. Or not, they weren't scissors. They were like medical scissors or something. They cut the back of his Achilles, and he got up, and they like you saw him open it up. Ugh.
Bosch McFadden says Cecil, dude, Gage #1 scariest kid. Maybe he was a little freak. What did they get him with? They shot him with some like hypodermic needle.
Take him down.
Yeah, he was a little fucker.
Pet Cemetery was due to Wendigo. Which are kind of zombie-esque. Wendigo. It's like a creature, mythical creature.
Worse things than being dead. I really even hated. I even hated when the kid died, like with the kite and that fucking the truck running him over.
It's so sad. Fucked up.
It was fucked up. Oh yeah, the sister Zelda, right? Luna Vision. Yeah, it's weird. Zelda was just a chick with like some kind of spinal disorder, but for some reason she was scary as fuck.
Just like fucking scary, man.
She's not, she just was. She normally you should feel bad for her, but she had meningitis.
Poor kid. Hey, gotta roll though. Gotta roll.
World War Z had Turbo Flash zombies, but yeah, that movie did nothing for me.
Yeah,
it was not scary.
Wasn't scary at all. I like the theme of it. Like it was kind of cool to see that type of zombie and how they operated, and they were kind of like how they would pile up and make these structures to get up over things because they were just like trying to get to.
They were like ants.
What they wanted. They were ants, and they had this hive mind, which was cool. But the movie itself just was so bleh, so boring.
I don't know. It did not. Did you read the book?
Emptiness. No, but I know it was separate stories, and it's kind of all through the news and whatnot.
If you get a chance, I don't know if you listen to audiobooks.
Oh yeah.
The audiobook is so much better than than reading it. I did both. And I was like, the audiobook, it's almost made like a radio play. It's the guy interviewing people around the world about how the breakout happened each place. And it's really like, it's meant to be listened to. Like, and it doesn't need it doesn't need visuals. The audiobook is way better than the movie.
I should get that one.
It's like, it's almost like it's basically the book is his audio interviews with people. So when you're listening to it, it's like you're actually listening to his interviews of like.
Oh, so they do the audiobook like more. There's like actors playing different characters. Is it kind of how they have it?
Well, it's just it's the guys like telling their story. I don't remember if they were actors or if it was one guy doing voices. Yeah. But it was the audiobook is excellent for anybody who wants to check that out. But then when the movie came out, it was such a fucking letdown. I was like, Max Brooks wrote that.
Planet Terror. Oh. One of the Grindhouse movies, Planet Terror. That was Robert Rodriguez. Were they like toxic? I've only watched that movie like 3 times, and it was a long time when it first came out. Were they like toxic zombies? Because I remember like being bubbly and like gross and.
I only saw that movie once, or I only saw that part of it. I've watched the other one, Death Proof, a bunch of times.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I didn't watch the Planet Terror more than once. Maybe because I catch it at the end or something. They were PC zombies. What does that mean?
Politically correct zombies? How do you do that?
I don't know.
Very PC zombies. Safe zombies? Cancel those toxic zombies.
But I've watched Death Proof a bunch of times. That's the Kurt Russell one where he's...
Yeah, he's a stunt man.
Yeah.
I wanted to love that movie because I love Kurt Russell. He's great. But there's that giant chunk right in the middle of that where it's just one camera going around the table where all the chicks are just having a conversation about fucking nothing. And I'm like, kill me.
It was a miss.
Kill
Usually
me.
like...
And all the stuff around that was great. I was like, oh, you got the stunt man, you got Kurt Russell, and he gets him in the car and he kills him with the car. I'm like, that's what I want to see. I don't want to see this conversation with these chicks. Like, I don't fucking care about this.
Dead Punk Gage says, so it's too wordy for you, was it? Yeah, it was too cerebral for him, Garrett.
Yes, it was. I couldn't deal. I'm like,
what's all this? What's all this talking?
Shut up and kill.
Why aren't there any car crashes? We're back to the car crash.
I saw a trailer and it showed explosions and cars and flying through things and flipping and shit, and then it's just me sitting here in conversation.
Less talking, more explosions.
That's how I watch movies, damn it.
Yeah, it was a little too cerebral. I agree with. No, it's.
Listen, I'd block that scene out too. Yeah.
A lot of Tarantino's dialogue scenes are classic. So.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? You love like those stupid conversations they get into. They're like, and that was a rare miss and a big miss.
Yeah.
It was boring. It was uninteresting. Probably because it was all girls and they are boring and uninteresting.
Yeah.
I
was just waiting for him to get killed. And maybe that was the point. It was like, hey, you're just insufferable and I want these characters to die. And then they die and you're like, oh, great. We're out of this now. But
yeah,
it did make me want to die. And like, yeah, his conversations are like great. The last segment of 4 Rooms where it's just a conversation about doing this like single bet and it just goes on and on and on, but it's all riveting and it's like really well written. And that was, I don't know, maybe I need to watch it again. I only watched it like once.
No, it's because it was all girls. Girls are boring.
I'm misogynist. That's what it is. They're boring.
Yeah, girls are boring. But like even just any little scene. If you take Pulp Fiction, when he's talking to Eric, when he's buying heroin from Eric Stoltz,
yeah,
that guy's name, and he's just like, yeah, they keyed my car, and he's like, man, that person deserves the death penalty, And it's like a heroin dealer, and a fucking hitman are talking about how the dude who keyed a car deserves to fucking be put to death. Like that type of shit is like just little throwaway conversations that are great. So you'd think he has like a table full of people and he's doing this around the thing, and it was just everything was boring.
Maybe it was the actresses. I didn't like any of those actresses or whatever.
It was girls.
Just boring. I'm like,
yeah, they're boring and stupid.
Get Kurt Russell back on the screen. Get him in a car. Kill some people. That's what I'm here for. But yeah, Planet Terror was pretty good too. And then the commercials were great. I don't think the commercials were fucking even better. And then Hobo with a Shotgun went to go make its own movie, and that was awesome. Did you ever watch that movie, Hobo with a Shotgun?
Is that the Rutger Hauer movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's good. It's ridiculous. It's one of those movies I put up on a shelf of like ridiculous premises that are very fun, like Rubber, the movie Rubber, where it's just a tire killing people with its mind powers, and you're like, this makes no sense, but it's amazing.
No, it makes sense because it has telekinetic powers that will explode your brain.
And it has like an audience watching the story unfold, and it's very like weird. But it's one of those like Hobo with a Shotgun goes up there. You're like, okay, I'll get in. I buy it. I bought in. Hobo with a Shotgun. Sometimes premises can just be so ridiculous, you can't do anything but buy into the premise. No questioning. Just go in.
Weird movie. Ezra Miller as Kevin. Who was he? Was he in Rubber?
We need to talk about Kevin.
Was Ezra Miller in Rubber?
I don't think so. I think he's talking about the movie We Need to Talk About Kevin. But he's not a zombie. He's just a pedophile. That's not much difference. But Cabin in the Woods. That's not a zombie movie, but it is a pretty good movie. Did you watch that movie, Cabin?
Cabin is very ambitious, and they actually able to pull it off, because that could have gone really bad. You know, to have like basically old gods that need to be, you know, sacrificed, and they have this whole fucking thing. I mean, it was a big undertaking to tell that story
Yeah.
in a fun way without getting. I think they did a good job. I liked it. It was
Yeah.
definitely original. It was an original.
And I liked it because it almost took what Scream did, where Scream came out and took all of the tropes from a scary movie and kind of like commented on those things. You know, the good girl, the black guy always dies first, like those things, and blah blah blah. They took those and then made a movie kind of based on that, and that's what Cabin in the Woods was. It was like
It has to be a virgin that dies at the end.
Yeah,
it has to
it was
be
like these things, and then the gods were meant to be like the audience. So whenever you present one of these scary movies to the audience, if they like it, they like it. You get to pass, and if they don't like what happened, then you die, and your whole world gets destroyed, like a movie. You know, so
Yeah.
I love that idea, that aspect of it.
Another good movie that was pretty low budget, pretty simple, but hit really well was Cabin Fever, the original one.
Yeah,
And they made a remake for no reason.
I'm not
And
gonna
it
watch
is
it. Never gonna watch it. No way.
absolutely terrible. So if I'm going to recommend Cabin Fever to anybody out there who hasn't seen it, it's fucking excellent. It was, I think, Eli Roth's first movie.
Yeah.
Do not accidentally watch the sequel.
Don't make that mistake. That movie's so disgusting. And she's like shaving her legs, and it's all bloody and pussy and stuff, and her face starts rotting off.
But that's another movie that was good because every character had a personality that you gave a shit about, and some of them were not that good, you know, and
it was ticked off.
It was good, but it's like when you watch like Friday the 13th, and I know people love the movies, but like you don't give a flying fuck about anybody getting killed. It's just like you're just waiting for them.
They
to
dump
get
like 25 kids on you, and you're like, all right, just fucking,
right.
What are the coolest ways they can die?
Right. That's all it is. So I've seen them. Yeah, you saw the remake. It's unnecessary. It's not only unnecessary, it's just bad. Like it doesn't
like the
have
Halloween
any
remakes, or
it's just,
the Friday the 13th remakes. It's like, why? Unnecessary. You didn't need to do it.
They just did they did it with Freddy too. Didn't they do a remake?
Yeah, they did a Freddy, and it was not good either. Like, why? Just don't go back and remake good horror movies. Go back and there's like a million B horror movies that you can go back to and like
make them better.
Make them better.
Be like
and
take a movie you saw.
Pick the good ones.
Take a movie, right? Because it's fucking simple. But all right, John Carpenter did it with The Thing. You know what I mean? Like that was a remake. The old one is, you know, people like it. It's a classic, but it doesn't stand up. He made it better. He took it and he fucking made it like way better.
A masterpiece.
If you take an old movie where you're like, you know what, this would have been perfect if they did this, then do it. But don't take a perfect movie and then be like, I'm going to remake it, make it better. Like, just leave it a fuck alone.
You're not going to do better than a movie that's already beloved. Just that you're never going to get that again. So just don't try it. Just do something. Go pick a movie. Like, they did that a lot in the 2000s into 2010s. Like, they went and got, like, Valentine's Day, and they remade that. Piranha. Piranha 3D, they remade that. Like, there was a bunch of, like, you know, they're stupid and cheesy, but at least they picked movies that weren't beloved movies and tried to redo that. But they also tried to do Friday the 13th, Halloween, Freddy. Like, you're not going to be able to remake Nightmare on Elm Street. It's not going to happen.
I did like Freddy vs. Jason.
That was like the end of that era, you know, because it was the last time Robert Englund played Freddy. So it's like after that, you're not going to top Robert Englund's Freddy. Okay. Yeah. Like I think Jackie Earle Haley is a great actor. Fantastic actor. He was the perfect Rorschach. He's not going to top Robert Englund's Freddy. You're just not going to top Freddy Krueger. You just can't do it.
No, he became like like a cultural phenomenon in the 80s. He was and it's basically a burned up child molester became like, hey, we love that guy.
Yeah. It's like him and Steve Urkel right next to like, hey.
He has that. That's the thing. He has that Biden charisma, basically.
Just oozing out them pedophile hands.
Skeletal child molester. He has that machismo or whatever it is, but it's funny like that everybody loved fucking Freddy Krueger, and it was like he was awful. Like he was a child. I mean, they alluded that he was a child molester. I mean, he was definitely a child murderer.
Yeah.
Right, Diesel. We love the burned up child molester. You can never understand.
He had chemistry, man.
But his chemistry was great. Like people were like, more of this guy. His little quips were good.
Think if they came back, I think he still could do it. I think Robert English could still play Freddy today. Did you watch Stranger Things, the last season that came out? Because he's in that. I have
not watched it yet.
He's in it. He's got only like a couple of really small scenes, but he is so good. He's still really, really good. And he doesn't seem like he's super old and he's kind of past his prime. Like he still has it. I think he could still play a really good Freddy. Just do that. Make a new Freddy, and just call it New Freddy. And you could play on all those kind of like weird tropes of like, we're remaking this old thing and we're doing this, but like do it and make him just the most evil fucking bastard. And he's crazy, but he's entertaining. Do it.
I even like the really weird one called Wes Craven's Nightmare. Did you ever see that one?
Yeah, where they're playing themselves.
Where they're
it's like
playing
a whole
themselves.
Meta thing. Yeah.
There's a demon that wants them to keep making the movies because he's becoming more powerful in hell because they're afraid of the nightmare demon. So as long as they're making these movies, people are afraid of dreams. He has more clout in hell.
Yeah.
That's fucking really.
Come on,
that's
let's
cool.
do that again. Do that again.
Shit like that. Like they won't do shit like that.
Yeah.
They're like, no, let's remake. Let's just keep remaking the same fucking shit over and over and make it watered down.
Yep. I'm like, we need to have a renaissance of those mid-budget movies. Like, that's what horror and action movies thrived on, was that mid-budget action movie or horror movie. That it wasn't like this massive blockbuster that you had to spend a bunch of money on. It was like just a movie right in the middle that you can have enough freedom to make something creative and interesting and fun. Like, we don't have those movies anymore. It's all fucking superhero movies. Hoping that'll die and we can have this stuff back.
The movie where we are talking about tonight was a low budget movie, and if you get a chance, there's the documentary about the making of it. It's on YouTube, and it's excellent, and it'll show you like how bad, like how it just everything worked out, because if you see how bad the original like cadaver is, it looked terrible. Like he didn't like they had a dude with the head missing, and it looks like his shoulders are like 8 feet long. It just looked like
super tall. Yeah,
dude, like everything was terrible. But just at the last moment, like every time there was a fuck up like this, because it was just going to be a low budget schlock, but just like movie magic kept happening to this movie where it fucking it came out perfect.
Whatever it was, whatever magic it was, like ding, gave him a chance. Miracle after miracle. Yeah. I love some of those are the best movies. The movies that had like the traditional one you always go to, Jaws, completely filled with all kinds of production hell things that didn't work, and then, like the shark wasn't working, and then a shark sank to the bottom of the fucking ocean, all this stuff. But it's like this perfect movie that is like got great characters and great suspense, and it sets up everything. And like a movie like this, all of these things that went wrong behind the scenes, and they were able to like make this great movie in the end. That's what I love about movies.
Happy Plague Doctor.
Happy Plague Doctor for $5. Get Joe Biden to remake Delta Force.
No, Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan.
I'm sorry. It's all that charisma. It was seeping into my brain.
I like yours better. Joe Biden and Delta Force. He fucking fires the gun and goes flying back 20 fucking feet and explodes against the wall.
Everybody's shooting against, like, fighting the bad guy shooting this way, and he's shooting the other way. He's just like... Joe Rogan.
You know what's funny? That's to get Joe Rogan to make a remake of Delta Force. I'm surprised no one has put him in an action movie. He is like a...
He should play Wolverine. He should be a little Wolverine.
Has anybody ever... I'm maybe he just won't do it because, like, why would he? He's making so much money. But he is like a martial artist and in shape, and he's got a huge audience. I'm maybe Stallone.
Maybe he can't act. Maybe it's what it,
no. He was on news radio for like years.
That's true.
He can act.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised like Stallone doesn't throw him in the Expendables or something as one of the fucking. I could see him doing that shit.
Are they still? They're still making that other Expendables, right? I think they're making another one.
I think they're making another one.
I would stick him like 90. Stallone.
How old is Stallone?
How old is Stallone?
His blood is mostly steroids at this point. It's gotta be. Mina Zircon says, "Holy Jeebus, it's Cecil. Gentlemen, let's talk about important, beautiful things. Pineapples and pineapple-related topic."
Fucking Minor with the freaking pineapples. I thought we almost got out of this show without talking about pineapple. But no, Miner's got to come in here and drop that acidic, disgusting fruit. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Do you not like it on pizza, or do you not like it at all? I
don't like it at all. I hate it. It's mostly because it's a meme, but I do also don't like it. Sylvester still, it has a little bit of texture. I don't like the acidic. It's really the acidic thing. It's like it's just got this weird. I'm not into it. Not into it.
I used to hate it because in nursery school they would serve cookies with pineapple juice, and I hated it. I wanted it to be orange juice or milk.
Cookies with pine. See, yeah, I don't like pineapples by themselves. I don't like them on pizza for sure.
Well, I like them by themselves and with pizza, but as a child, I did not like.
I do not like either of those things.
Well, you're wrong.
I'm correct. 76. He's 76. I just watched that movie that he just did called The Samaritan or The Good Samaritan or whatever it was.
Oh, it's
this like superhero thing. Not good.
It was pointless.
Yeah, kind of like cheesy in not a good way.
No, it had a very made-for-TV feel, and it just didn't have that interesting a story.
Yeah, and then the twist at the end, I was like, yeah. Like, yeah, I get it. Yeah, I know.
It wasn't that, I wasn't that invested in any of it. I don't know what it was. It could have been good. It just, I didn't care.
Yeah.
Wasn't good. It was a miss.
I think he was okay. I think he wasn't. It wasn't like he was like on his last leg.
No, you weren't in hell watching
Bruce Willis.
You weren't like it was good enough to sit through.
Yeah.
But then you basically instantly forget about it. That's you know what I mean. It wasn't like you would torture. Like I'm watching the She-Hulk stuff. I literally I'm on episode 6. I started it last week. I watched 15 minutes of it. I have not, and I'm going to do a review of it tonight, and I'm going to review 7 tonight when that one drops. I have dreaded why it's so bad that it makes me like angry. Like it makes me angry.
Hulk angry.
I get fucking physically like this. It's so stupid. It's treating the audience so stupid that I'm just like, how did this happen? I fucking hate. I haven't finished episode 6 yet. I've been putting it off.
I can't believe you got that far. I watched the first episode and was like, this is excruciating.
Oh my God. This last one, 6, I don't know what's going to, I think 7 comes out tonight or at midnight, but I have to get this review out. But I've been literally putting off finishing this episode like it was a fucking root canal. Like you know what I mean? Like you could find anything other to do. It's like, wait, do you want to watch
prostate checked?
I would get a colonoscopy. It's like, you want to finish watching this or get your colonoscopy? It's like, let's get that colonoscopy done over.
Very important.
It's fucking it was so painfully dumb and just I hate it. I hate
every character is stupid and just is stupid or just a complete bitch. The dialogue does not make any sense to reality. It's just, it doesn't feel like a real place. It feels like a weird feminist stage play that should be on like off Broadway and not on Disney Plus for people to watch. Like
it's Disney tween, like when they were churning out those 90s, you know what I mean? It's written that level of like, what was that Urkel show? What was that called? Family Ties?
Family Matters.
Family Matters. It's
like
like
a sitcom. Yeah.
It's like season 15 of that when they were just
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? When
he
they
was
just
like inventing shit. It was like, I'm a robot. I've got a teleportation thing.
Yes, it's
just
like
stupid
they are
shit.
just phoning shit in. Like there's no thought. Somebody's like, we have 20 minutes to write a script, and they're just like, yeah, Urkel discovers fucking, you know, he could fly.
Yeah,
fucking there.
He
There we
just
go.
goes to space.
Yeah, Urkel goes to space.
All of the MCU feels like it's like season 9 of a TV show, and you're like, all right, let's wrap it up. It's time for season finale. Let's get out. But they're like, no, we can still keep going. Here's a She-Hulk show. Daredevil's back, guys. Deadpool with Wolverine's back, guys.
I want to see that.
I know, me too. Fuck. But I'm like, that's the only thing, because I'm like, okay, I know Ryan Reynolds is funny. I know Hugh Jackman is good as Wolverine.
I don't want to see like Aztec Atlantis. It's just boring to me. It's why?
I don't want to see Black Panther without Black Panther in it.
That's the other thing. When the fuck was the actor die means the character dies? What?
Yeah, what? We just thought it wasn't. It was too soon to recast. What? No, too soon.
So then, what the fuck?
He's like a 60-year-old character.
What? I don't understand how. I mean, they're probably gonna write in a multiverse thing and bring in another fucking actor or something. But
I think what they're doing is they're gonna set up as a female Black Panther. I think that's who it's gonna be. It's gonna be his sister or some shit, or one of the bald chicks. It's gonna be one of them. It's gonna be like, oh, we took the mantle, and they're gonna try and do like, we're paying respect to T'Challa and whatnot. But really, the whole story is just like, how do we get a female into that position? Because that's all Phase 4 has been this whole time.
Whoever said Aztec representation needs to be flogged. Yeah, what about the Greeks in the Atlantis? They didn't get any fucking.
It just doesn't make any sense. Like, why? It's a landlocked people that had temples, and they chopped people's head off, and like, what does that have to do with Namor and Atlantis? It doesn't have anything to do with it. You just
it has more to do with you being a bigot.
Ah, damn it! I haven't said Latinx yet.
Did you complain about him being Mexican? Well, you're a bigot.
You must be a racist bigot. Homophobe too. Why? I don't know. Just cuz. Nick asked for $4.99. Hey guys, if you haven't already seen it, you both should watch Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Great movie. It is a great movie. I agree.
I did. I like it.
Fucking great movie. I like what's it? He played Wash. Can't remember his name, but he was like one of them.
He played
he played Tucker, okay. I think. What's his name? He was Wash. He played Wash in Firefly.
Right. I never saw Firefly.
Alan Tudyk. Alan Tudyk. Tydick, or however he says it. But yeah, he's a great actor. He's so good in that movie. I love that too, because it's another one of those movies where they take the tropes and kind of flip them, and you're seeing it from the other side of like the scary hillbilly people that they meet. And
yeah,
they're like, the whole time they're trying to help them, but they were accidentally killing them and throwing them into the wood chipper and shit. Like, it's so good.
Yeah, that was a good movie. Recommended.
Heavy recommend.
But yeah, I want to. We were talking about this the other night. We think like the absolute jump the shark moment for the MCU is the She-Hulk twerk. Like that was Fonzie on water skis.
Yeah, and you're like
jumping. That's it. Like that's it. There's no coming back. Like it's all just a shit show now. It's
like
over.
Solidified. Like it's not coming back from this. Yeah, everything. I think not everything, but there's a lot of stuff you can kind of like write off and be like, okay, well, it was a little cheesy, but maybe they can get it back. But yes, She-Hulk twerking. It's just silly, stupid shit now. It's not anything that when you think about the first phase of Marvel, they took that shit seriously. It was like Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, the first Avenger. It was all taken seriously.
With a touch of humor.
Yeah, with a little bit.
Touch of humor.
Just enough.
To break it up, because it's still like a silly topic of a guy in a robot suit or whatever.
Yeah.
So they put a little bit of tongue in cheek, but
now
for the
it's
most
just
part,
everything is this is a silly premise, so we're gonna treat it like a joke. It's like
It sucked. It's what happened with the original Batman run when Schumacher took it over and just made it a joke, and you were just like, oh,
like Batman and Robin.
Cool.
That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're making Batman and Robin now in MCU.
They're making Batman and Robin. Exactly. Perfect. Fucking that's it. Like they had like a good start. Like, oh wow, that's why everybody loved the Burton one. It was like, oh, finally, like somebody did like a serious movie about Batman.
They're taking this character seriously.
And doing it like cool.
And now they're not.
It's like, and now all of a sudden Batman and Robin came out, and you're like, and he's yelling cowabunga.
He's getting
bat
credit cards and shit. And like,
bat ice skates, and like you're like, no.
What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age.
Oh, my God, that was so painful. I was like, no, we were so close.
You had it, and then it's gone.
Nolan came back and saved it, but fucking that was brutal.
Yeah,
that was brutal when they did that. I was like, why are you doing this?
I think that is, like, you're right. We are in that era now for the MCU, but nobody will accept it.
This is Batman and Robin stage of MCU.
Nobody's accepting it though. It's like they've got enough bot shills on Twitter to pretend that there's still a fan base going, this is great. Every second of this is amazing. Whenever I'm going to say most MCU fans are going, yeah, this isn't great. There were some movies in the MCU that weren't, the best, but they were still like, you could watch them and be like, okay, right. I'm following the story. Now everything in season 4, phase 4 is just bad. And you can't justify twerking.
There's a certain amount of people who just want it to be good because they like.
Yeah, they need it to be good. It's like, that's my thing.
I want it to be good. It's my thing.
MCU.
Please, no. And then there's a certain amount of people that are like, well, I like it because the wrong people don't like it, so I have to like it. You know what I mean? It's like that, like politically motivated.
Yeah, the man bro dude, the man bro dudes are gonna come in 5 seconds.
Right, the incels don't like it, so I love it.
I hope you're in the chat, bro. It's like they like it out of spite. It's that tweet. You see a tweet where it's a picture of like some person going like, and me watching Rings of Power, not listening to any of the fans that hate this show and not caring about the lore, sipping my tea. It's like, so you're watching it out of spite? Like,
spite watch. Like, I don't want Rings of Power to be bad. I never made it through the first episode.
It's so bad.
I didn't care. So I'm like, well, I'll tell you, trying to care.
Nothing has happened. It's been 5 episodes and nothing has happened. All the characters in the same spots, basically. If you watch the first 2 episodes that they released at the same time, all the characters are in the same positions. There's not any progression. 5 hours we've had. Nothing. It's so fucking boring.
I do like Game of Thrones, the House of Dragons.
Yes. I'm liking that. I'm liking that a lot. I haven't watched the latest episode, so I don't want to be spoiled. Don't spoil it for me in the chat. But
you didn't see what happened?
Oh yeah, the thing. No. But yeah, I'm really liking it, and I did not want to like it because I got burned so bad, and I know so many other people did. Season 8.
Well, I was caught up in it. I'll tell you what. When I just said like people like it because they want it to be good, I actually did that for the first 2 shows of season 8.
Me too.
It dawned on,
Me too.
Before it dawned, and I was on a show I think with Gary and Mahler, and I was like, I actually defended it, and they were going absolutely apeshit. And to this day, if I see Gary or something, he brings it up. He's like, "You'll never live that down. You'll never ever live that down." Like Mahler, I forget who was there. It was like Mahler or Critical Trigger or something. They were like sputtering mad. They were like, "What the fuck are you talking?" And I was like, my defense was they made the fucking knight, the king, so overpowered that it had to be a sneak attack to kill him because he was like so powerful. He could never fucking beat Jon Snow. Could never beat him one-on-one. The dude fucking just killed a dragon he made an ice spear out of nothing and killed a dragon in 2 seconds. How the fuck is he going to lose a fight to a dude with a sword? It ain't going to happen. So I was like,
but he lost the only thing, a chick with a knife,
a sneak attack, and a trained assassin who did a sneak. And I was like that. And that was my defense.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's the only way they could get out of it was to do something like that.
They wrote themselves into a horrible corner.
They wrote
I think that's
themselves
what
into a
it was.
corner.
They wrote themselves into a corner where they knew the pillars, because I'm sure George told them all the pillars of like, this happens, this happens, this happens. And then they were like, okay, well, we have to figure it all out ourselves. And oh shit, we made this character, the Night King, way too OP. What do we? Oh crap! Let's just fucking burn
Motherfucker
it
sees
all.
a dragon flying.
Like,
he makes a fucking spear out of ice and kills it in one shot.
Yeah, he
How
one
the
shots
fuck?
a fucking dragon.
He one punched a dragon. Like, yes, it's got to be a sneaky bullshit way to kill him. That's it.
I was in the same boat though. I was like, no, it's not that bad for the first 2 episodes, and then after Night King died, I was like,
yes.
this ain't gonna be good. This ain't gonna be good. This is good. It's like,
by the next episode, I was fully on board that this is all shit.
Yeah.
But for that moment, I was still defending something that I loved, and I was trying to justify what they were doing. So I get what people doing that with the MCU. But yeah, I know people are still mad
time.
at me.
It takes time.
Like, wrong, Cecil. Just wrong.
Just wrong.
Yeah.
But
Cecil,
yeah, it's like...
I triggered Gary and Muller. They were like, literally, like, they were apoplectic. They were like,
no, I don't even know what to say. But there's something about, yeah, like, when you love something, like, I did the same thing with Star Wars. I know some people like Gary and Ryan hated Force Awakens when they walked out the movie, but I was still trying to go like, okay, Star Wars is back. Let's try and... Surely, they're not dumb enough to have the franchise of Star Wars and not plan it out. Surely this means something. There's got to be reasons why Rey is so powerful. There's got to be reasons why Ben would kill his father, and you would have Han Solo. You were like, there's got to be something. There's 2 more movies. There's 2 more movies.
We were all on board to find out this great story that explained everything.
Yeah. And
we were on, I was all right. I was like, this wasn't perfect. This was pretty much a remake of the other ones, you know, but there's going to be something. And man, I mean, but everybody
wrong.
knew.
Wrong. Yeah. Like, and I remember the first time I watched it, I went to a movie screening where you watched all of the Star Wars, like episode 1 all the way through to 7. Well, now I don't even count fucking 7 as an actual Star Wars movie, but you watched all of them, right? So I just got through watching the best Star Wars, and then I watched this one at the end, and then the moment it cut to credits, I did feel like, this isn't right. There's something wrong here. But then I started justifying it and making up my own theories of like, okay, well, there's got to be a reason for this, and that's got to be why that, and that. And then I justified it to myself and go, okay, well, then the next one will explain it. And then it didn't. And then after that movie, I was like, okay, I've got problems. There's got to be something here. And then the next movie completely was fucked up.
The Last Jedi was so bad. You know, I have a younger brother who's a complete normie, like doesn't even know I have a channel. Doesn't even know I do this. And I'm close with him too, which is weird, but I don't fucking tell anybody what I'm doing. He saw it before I did, and I asked him, what did you think? And he said, I never left a movie where I felt like the people who made it hated me before. And I was like, that was such a perfect way to describe it. It had absolute contempt for the fan base. And it's true. Kathleen Kennedy, fucking, what's his name?
Ryan,
fucking,
fuck
his name? The Roundhead Ryan, what the fuck's his name? They just fuck Ryan Johnson. Thank you. Fucking, is Cecil embarrassed of us? No, I'm embarrassed of myself, dummy. Fucking yeah, I was like, for just a normie to watch that movie and be like, I never left a movie where I felt the people made it hated me before.
Yeah, because the first movie set up so many questions, because the fucking question, like mystery box shit with Ryan or with JJ,
right,
sets all these questions up. So automatically you're going to be like, okay, I got to justify the shitty events that happen in this movie. Then to have a director come out and then make a movie to go like, fuck you. Your theories are bad. You're stupid for having theories. You're stupid for liking this. Basically, is what it felt like.
You're stupid for being in your 30s and 40s and loving this because it was part of your childhood. You're fucking grow up, and I'm gonna just kill it. I'm just gonna kill this.
Let the past die. Because
I'm a real filmmaker, and shit like this is ruining real theater. So I'm just gonna fucking murder this franchise.
It felt like he was a spy, and he just infiltrated.
And I'll make Knives Out, which I mean, Jesus, that movie was so proud of itself.
It was, dude. It was all up its own ass. It was so
it's
like,
fucking like for being. Did you see what I did? It was mildly clever. Like that's all it was.
Yeah.
It was mildly clever.
Did you see that twist? The twist.
Yeah.
Now he's making like a trilogy on Netflix and whatever.
Fucking insufferable.
And look where Star Wars is now. It has a show about a character that's definitely dead. It's a prequel. I don't give a shit. I know some people are like, oh, Andor's good. But then you just had the actor playing Mon Mothma came out and said, Mon Mothma is a Nancy Pelosi. But why are you even doing that? There's no reason to come out, unless you're just fucking dumb, to completely say, like, alienate half your population of watching your whole crowd by picking a side in politics when you don't have to do that. You just, okay, so she's Nancy, so she's a villain. I thought Mon Mothma was a good person. Nancy Pelosi is a fucking brainlet. An evil brainlet. Why would you compare her?
Did you see her getting booed in New York yesterday?
No? It sounds great.
At a Democratic speech. Let me see if I can find it, man.
Oh, no.
Dude, this will make your day, man. This is fucking insane.
But like, okay, Disney, you're already having issues with the fan base. Your idea is to then continue to come out and say dumb shit like that. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? That's why I'm done. I'm not, like, I watched Kenobi because we were talking about it on Friday Night Tides. Other than that, there's no fucking reason I would watch that show because I knew it was going to butcher Kenobi. And it did. And now they're coming out with a show, Andor, about a Disney character that I don't give a fuck about. No, I'm done. Done with it. I don't like the key jangling of Mandalorian. I know some people like it. I was like, yeah, it's fine. It's okay. If Mandalorian
was okay.
If it was in a vacuum by itself, it would be okay. I would still want it to have more action than it does because it's all about this fucking baby Yoda that I'm like, can we move on from the baby and get back to what I thought it was going to be? A bounty hunter doing bounty hunter shit. But that's okay. But it's like, even those, I'm like, I'm out. Don't care about Star Wars, man. It's sad, man. Fuck. It's sad.
Yeah, I checked out the last episode of anything Star Wars I watched was the Luke takes Baby Yoda. Yeah. That was it. Then I was done. I haven't seen anything since. So, yeah, this is a feel-good moment. Oh, come on.
Boo.
I'm booing this fucking...
I hate these article videos.
Amazing. Come on, guys, with urgent action, we can actually turn the ship around and defend our planet. This is amazing music.
Wow.
Double energy bills for their parents and allow us to pass the planet on in a responsible way. Your actions help make this happen. And I'm here to say thank you.
I've seen like the people on the floor, the cell phone. It's a lot more brutal. Let me see if there's like
Other audiences were cheering her. By the way, I want to put that in Sky News. Just want to make that clear. There were people cheering. Okay.
This Skeletor remake looks pretty good.
The origin story.
I have your friend Orko.
Yeah. Look at this hag.
Is that her husband there? Junkie McCrash-a-lot?
Crash-a-lot.
What the fuck?
That doesn't make you feel good, though. It makes you feel great.
Her jugs make me feel good.
Her beach time jugs.
It's beach time, Nancy.
Get out here. Get the girls out.
Sun's out, buns out. You got to find like people who posted their own video. It's brutal. They were like,
because they were like in the actual crowd, like,
they're like, fuck you. Like you could hear like, I guess they kind of like muted it so you couldn't make out what people were saying. But like, people were like cursing her out. It was like fucking get the fuck off the stage. It was like that. So they kind of like white noise it a little bit for these things.
Hopefully people are fucking waking up, you know? It's like, and I that's why I feel bad for like the Democratic Party, the people that do vote for them, because it's like, you guys gotta wake up to your own party being full of shitheads. Like, don't you want your own party to be good people? Like, you don't.
They're not going to. Let me explain.
Right?
Like, I watched that woman that got like nearly beaten to death on a train station yesterday. Yeah. You see that video?
Yeah.
And she's like, "Where are the cops? Where are the cops?" And I'd be like, "Let me see your voting record for the last 10 years. Let me see what you voted for." And now that some fucking psychopath that they let out of jail, who murdered it, who beat his grandmother to death, but he's on the streets and he has a million fucking crimes. And let me see if you voted down the line for every politician that made sure that guy was. And I could guarantee you, she did.
Yeah.
And they're like, and now she's like, "Where are the cops?" And I can guarantee you, come November, she's going to vote for the same fucking people, even with her eye missing now, because it looks like she's going to lose that eye.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you know, and half of New York is fleeing to fucking Florida, and they're fucking voting for the same fucking shit they are leaving here for. I mean, that's happening.
There's like a cognitive dissonance that they can't connect the fact that the people that they vote for do the shit that they don't like. They're like, surely the things, people can't just go through Times Square and shoot people.
No,
that can't be because of our policies. That's got to be some kind of random conservative that it's his fault.
They can't admit they're wrong.
It's you. It's you and your rules. Shit only happens there.
It's all pride, because they can't admit they're wrong.
Yeah.
Because they painted the opposition as, oh, these Trumpers are you know, dumb, inbred hicks, and they're dumb. And then it's like, well, they were all right about, you know, the beer bug, but they're still like, you know what I mean? They can't admit it. Put the mask back on. Yeah, they're still putting. They'll still put the mask on, even though they know 100% it does nothing. They'll still put it on because they can't say to themselves, "We were wrong," and these people that we've called dumb were right. The fucking, because
then that would make us dumb. So I can't admit.
About pride.
Can't admit it.
So you can't go down to Florida and vote. You know, you have to go vote for the same fucking shit. They're doing the same thing the Californians in Texas. They're fucking go in there and fly. It's
same exact thing.
And they're gonna. And then this, like I said, this woman is crying about the police, and it's like, I guarantee you voted for only people that wanted to fucking let that guy out.
Yeah,
and you're going and a month from now, and you're gonna do it again, but you're gonna do it with one eye now because you fucking got beaten. Yeah. Fuck, you know, people don't learn. You know, they can't.
Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom, I'm going to run for president. Dude, you ran California into the fucking ground. There's like tent cities everywhere. There's people. And yeah, that's the scary thing, is he could fucking win.
Joe Biden could win. Anyone could win. That's it. That's it. The bar is
they had a chance during the worst stuff that he was doing. During lockdowns, during all this stuff, they had a chance to get him out, and they didn't. They voted to keep him in. I'm like, okay, there's one of two things. They're completely lost, can't save him. They're all voting for him regardless. Or two, the system is completely fucked, and there's no way to even vote somebody like that out because they're so like locked in, and they have all their methods to keep them locked in. What do? You chip off California and let them float into the sea. You get the good people out.
You got to go Lex Luthor. You got to nuke the San Andreas fault line.
Yeah, what did they do? And what did they do? Yes? Okay.
Buy up property. I want to live in Otisville, to be honest, rather than California.
It's Otisville.
You know what Otisville is?
No, what is it?
Did you ever see Superman, the movie, the original?
Oh, Otis. Okay. I was like, what is this?
Lex Luthor bought all like land in like Utah and
then they were
gonna they were going to sink California into the sea, and then they'd have all the beachfront.
Oh yeah, the beachfront property.
And then he at the bottom, Otis
plan.
wrote in, Otis wrote in Otisville at the bottom. I would like to live in. I would live in Otisville before California.
Before California, fine. It's what's sad is because California is so beautiful. It's a beautiful state. Like if you just look at the land,
paradise. It's
fucking,
paradise.
The weather's great. You have mountains, you have beaches, you have all this cool. It's so great, but it's just a fucking hellhole. And you're driving through all these cities, it's just like homeless encampments everywhere, shit on the streets. It's so sad. It's like, damn, man, what did you do to your beautiful place?
Is paradise. You got like Southern California, you got 72 degrees a year round. It's like, it's perfect. It's like, and it's, people would rather live anywhere else. They'd rather go to Texas to like a hellscape, like it's like the surface of Mars.
Yeah, it's fucking hot here. You know, you can't stay here during the summer. If you didn't live here and grow up in Texas, you can't stay here during the summer. You have to leave because it's just so fucking hot. It's flat. There's no mountains to speak of. All of the lakes are man-made. So that people going from California, the beautiful California, going, we got to get the fuck out of here because it sucks. It's that bad. Yeah. It's that bad there.
You're talking, one of them, like, it's got every natural resource in abundance. It's geographically beautiful, and people would rather go to a fucking desert where they're melting than live in that and what they've done to that place. Yeah,
I love Texas.
Crazy.
I love Texas, except for the summertime because fuck. Fucking, have you been here whenever it's summertime? It's brutal.
Yeah, I saw you in Texas in summertime.
Oh, that's right. It was summertime. Dude, brutal. Just humid and just fucking disgusting. Joseph Fazio for $9.99. Oh yeah. You have to reconquer. Oh, I like this idea. You have to reconquer and psychologically recondition all of the California and suspend habeas corpus. I can't read, so that's the thing. The same thing we did to the Imperial Japanese. That's the only way to save California. I think at this point, that's the only way.
Oh, internment camps. Yeah, I think that we could put George Takei in charge of them.
Yeah, I'm going to run the camps here. Okay, everybody line up and bend over.
I mean, it was pretty bad to put Americans in internment camps. I'm going to go on record.
Cool. Yeah, I think it's fair. Not cool. Not cool.
But I'd rather be Japanese.
But if they're Californians, I think, I don't know, that might pass.
Yeah, I think. Well, somebody once said, "Do you know why California keeps getting hit with these natural disasters?" And I was like, "Why?" And it's because they deserve it.
Because they deserve it. They're getting burned down because it's a hellhole there. It's a hellscape full of evil people and demons. So they're just trying. They're just trying to. It's like whenever you go to another planet and you need to terraform it in order to live there. That's what the demons are doing to California. They're just burning the whole landscape. Throwing rocks everywhere, landslides. It's just demons trying to live.
Shitting in the street.
Yeah, just making everything covered in shit and needles and dead people and criminals.
That's when you know everything's gone downhill. When you see human waste in the street.
Yeah.
It's, your
society's falling apart at that point.
The turnaround in New York was so stark. We had 20 years we had 8 of Giuliani, then we had 12 of Bloomberg, who's a total cuck. But as far as law and order, he just kept every Giuliani thing in place for 12 years. We had 20 years where fucking Manhattan was like Disney World. Yeah. It was fucking ridiculously fun and safe.
I'm so glad I got there in 2019, like right before it flipped and just got real bad. Yeah. Like whenever we hung out there in New York, and it was like the perfect time because the next year everything went boom and turned into dystopia. It's fucking.
That was the summer of love was the next summer, so that was everything went to shit after that. But it was. I mean, there was a 20-year stretch where New York was just like one of the safest cities in the world. It was like there was no fucking, and just 8 years of De Blasio was enough to just like send everything in. They just come in and destroy shit, and they voted in another dude. Like they voted in the same guy.
That's what I love. The new guy that came in, everybody hated de Blasio, right? That's why they had to like, they voted a new guy in, and he promised that he was going to get rid of the things that de Blasio was doing and all this stuff. And then the night that he was getting sworn in, he was like, no, yeah, I'm going to double down on some of those things. It's like none of you guys thought like he was going to.
But he's an ex-cop.
He's
an ex-cop, so they thought like, I can understand the voters if they believed him, because he's like, oh, we need. I mean, that's how fucking. I remember when Rudy ran. It was like every liberal was like, I'll never vote. Like he won the first one because New York had turned into fucking Mad Max under
right.
Jenkins.
Yeah,
it was just absolute fucking insanity to the point where a Republican could win New York City. I don't know if that could ever happen again, but they all like, oh, he came in and he came in like fucking with an iron fist, and like crime within like 2 years was gone. And every liberal was like, oh, this guy's a Nazi, what he did to this city. And then they all went in that voting booth and they voted for him again. They, you know what I mean? They're to their friend. They were like, what a monster.
I like feeling safe on the subway. Let me vote for him again.
And he, you know what I mean? It's like they're sitting there in their fucking, their cocktail parties talking about what a monster he is. But when they all got in that fucking booth, they fucking voted for his ass because they were like, holy shit. I just walked down 15 blocks and not a single person asked me for fucking money. Not one person, the panhandler. I didn't see. I drove. No one was washing my car. No one was I didn't see any shit in the street. And they're like, he's a Nazi, but he's got my vote. Like, you know what I mean?
Cleans up those streets pretty well, though. That's what's sad. Like 2020 did that. Like any city that was working fine, it was working okay. It was things were steaming okay. 2020 took that and just ripped every single city. I always say this because in 2020, I did a road trip from North Texas all the way to Seattle, down to San Francisco, and then back. And every single city was the same thing. It was like copy and paste, full of homeless people, full of criminals everywhere. There was trash. Like it was like a post-apocalyptic fucking movie. It was crazy. Every single city we hit.
Everyone. And I say this when I have arguments and people are like, I live in New York, so obviously I hear it all the time. I have a lot of liberal friends. And I could always end the argument by just being like, point to the success, point to the liberal city, the Democrat-run city. It's been Democrat-run for 20, 30, 40 years that you're like, this is our success. This is what pure Democratic control.
Yeah, if we get everything we want,
we've got it. You've had
this is our win.
Show me the one, and then just like they will change the subject. They will not. I'm like, show me the success because I'll vote for it. Show me where it worked. It's just like communism. It's like, oh, they didn't do it right. You know what I mean? It's like,
I'll show you a city that they got everything they ever wanted. That city's called Detroit. You want to just go there? Just walk down the street in Detroit.
It's been Democratic since the 60s.
Yeah, it's been Democratic forever, and it's completely destroyed. So
when you can't point to a goddamn
one example,
a single example, someone's like, "Where's a Republican?" I'll be like, Florida.
Yeah, Florida,
Texas,
Tennessee.
It's Tennessee, man. That's like, listen,
Georgia. Boom, 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 boom.
That's where I was going. I went to Florida a bunch of times.
Yeah,
that's where I met Drunk, and then Tennessee, Texas. Like that's it. Those are all success stories. And there's no, how do you keep voting for something when you can't name a successful outcome for the thing you're voting for?
It's something about being a Democrat. I don't know. It's like you turn your brain off. Maybe you don't have a brain. I mean, it's a smooth brain. That's what it is. They go, oh, who's the coolest?
They're too invested.
Who's the coolest person?
I think they're just too invested to admit they were wrong. I think that's what it is. They're just like,
pride.
Fuck.
They're like, we're down this road. We can't turn around. Too far to go back. Let's just go into the ground, I guess. Let's just run it in. Sad. Fucking sad state of affairs we live in today. It's like if your world is resembling Escape from New York and Escape from LA, you got a problem, okay? It's like you took those scripts and were like, that's how I'm going to run my state. Just like that. I want it to look just like that. Ridiculous. All right, so Cecil.
Yes.
Thank you, brother, for coming on. It was a lot of fun
Absolutely.
talking to you. It was a great
Thanks
movie.
for having.
Great pick. Is there anything you'd like to plug?
Everybody could join my channel. It's Cecil Says. I will be doing 2 She-Hulk reviews. If you want to watch me have a fucking nervous breakdown,
Good luck.
I'll have those up either tonight or tomorrow. So yeah, Cecil Says on YouTube and Cecil_says on Instagram.
There you go. So yeah, it was a great conversation. I love this movie. I'm putting it up on my shelf. I'm gonna go buy the DVD. I want to buy like the most deluxe version of this and put it up on my shelf because it's fucking amazing. All right, well everybody, I will be seeing you maybe tomorrow. I think we're gonna do a stream tomorrow. We're gonna play some video games. It's been a little bit too long. We need to do it again, and I'm gonna pick a game to play tonight. After this, I'm gonna watch the making of this movie because it's really good. I want to watch it.
Yeah.
It sounds freaking cool.
It's on YouTube. It's very cool.
So thank you everybody in the chat for hanging out, having conversations. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the new members on the channel, and I will see you guys later.
Thanks for having me on.
Oh, it's the Chad Show. It's the show after the show. That's just me and you. Chads. People that stayed. You said, what does that say? Good night? I ain't going to bed till the sun comes up, motherfucker. I'm staying right here because I'm a motherfucking Chad. That's right. Let's say hello to the Chads. Ancient Suds making his own soaps. So look up Ancient Suds. Got pretty good products. I looked at them. They're pretty good. Go buy the soap. He's a Chad as well. He's a Chad. Google Plus sucks balls. Chad. Diesel. Chad. We know this. Little Bear. Bro. Little Bear. You Chad. Foggy Frank. Froggy Frank. You Chad. Brewing Bear. Chad. Solid State Citizen. Always a Chad. Never forget that. The Real Steven TV. Chad. Sethalonian. Chad. Colby Persons. Chad. Real Minnesota. You're Chad as well. Turo. Carl Griffin. Griffing? Carl Griffing. You're Griffing. I know what you're doing. You're being a Chad. Jay Pinbear. Chad. Diora. Chad. Marty Art. Chad, bro. What's up? Doc Chronic. Chad. The Chad's in here, man. Just off the charts, Chad. Questionable Meat Sack. You're Chad, okay? I don't question you. I don't question you as a meat sack. You're Chad. You're Chad. Ooh. Oh, what? Bradley, an hour ago. I'm sorry, Bradley. I hope you're a Chad. I hope you're here right now. I've been here a couple times. He sent me a donation on the donation side. I don't plug that a whole lot. I need to plug that more. Bradley Burnett for $15 on the donation side. I get a higher percentage because YouTube don't take that shit out. Freaking YouTube is like 30. What is it like? No, it's like 40, 60 or something. It's kind of fucking high. Take a lot. That's why I'm going to let you guys on a little secret here. my chads, my bros, my chads. Okay. I'm working on locals. We're gonna do a couple of exclusive streams on the local side. Not everything's all set up and ready yet, but it's gonna be happening. And I think over there what we're gonna do is on the main channel side, we're gonna do like a regular Sunday stream, and then after that stream, do an additional stream exclusively over on the local side. So I think that's how I'm gonna handle it. But locals doesn't take any fucking thing out. I think they have actually hold on. I think they have like a 5%. I may be wrong about that, but it's not 40%. I know that. Fucking YouTube, you bastard. Anyways, I'm sorry. Bradley Burnett for $15. Hi-ya. Let me hit the button. Hi-ya. Fix the button. You like how I did that? Watching the streams today has helped as I bunkered down in Tampa Bay. Good luck, man. I hope you're... Anybody that's out there in Florida, I hope you're okay. Hope you're staying safe. Looks freaking freaky out there. We got lucky, but my fellow Floridians south of me were hit really hard today. Just want to remind everyone who wants to help, there are good charities out there to donate to. Yeah, I gotta figure out a good charity. Maybe we could do a charity stream. That'd be great. Thank you, Bradley Burnett. You didn't have to do that in this time of scary weather. But you have to be real, though. You do live in Florida. It's not like it's a surprise attack. This isn't a sneak attack. You knew it was happening. It's only happened there every year for the last million years. It's a beautiful place, though, I hear. Never been there. I'm going next month, though. So, if you're not going to the Florida Orlando meetup, hopefully it'll still be there. Orlando, I mean. I hope it'll still be there as a city. I'm going to that. So, if you're in that area, if you're inclined to make a trip, I'd love to see you there. Salt miser, you Chad. I imagine my homies down in Florida gonna be treating hurricanes like we do tornadoes in Oklahoma. Yeah, both you guys are you Floridians and Oklahomans are fucking crazy. You know it's gonna happen every year. You know it's gonna happen. My favorite ones too are the ones that are like get their entire livelihood destroyed, their house is destroyed, their cars are gone, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna rebuild. We're not fucking moving. This is my land, damn it. Yeah, Ryan Cadell's too angry to get taken out by a fucking hurricane. A hurricane's afraid of him. All right, tomorrow. I'm still figuring out what I want to play. I don't know if it's going to be Grounded. It might be something else. I'm not sure yet. But we'll see. I think I'm going to play something, though. Be later in the day. What's tomorrow? Thursday? Damn, these weeks are moving fast. Thursday! Probably a late stream. We'll see. That Star Wars girl in the chat, what's up? What is up? It's the end of the show. You made it. You're a Chad. That Star Wars girl officially a Chad, everybody. Let everybody know. That Star Wars girl is a Chad. She's made it at the end of the Chad stream. All right, everybody. Thank you, Chads. I love you. Stay safe in Florida. You're in there. I love storms, you know. I wish it would rain in Texas sometime. Those are always a good day. Maybe not a hurricane. So stay safe. Thank you for being Chads. And hey, Nutsack It's a thing. I have a sponsor. Is it in this description? Am I that good? Did I put it in the description? I did not. Like a fucking pro. Like a pro. Well, go. Okay, if you're really dedicated, go to my last live stream. There's a link in that description if you want a beautiful waxed canvas bag to carry your whatever you want to carry. They have big bags, small bags, circular bags, hand bags, bags you can throw in the sea. Get them out of the sea 10 years later. I bet they're still just as good. Nutsack. And plus their name is Nutsack. It's pretty great. So if you want a great bag, use my affiliate link. Don't go just Google it. Go use my link. You have to use the link. That, and I have t-shirts, so there is a merch link in the description. Check it out. Thank you guys. I love yous. I'll see yous later. Bye-bye.